Hello everybody, my name's Corey and today you're going to learn how to cram a whole year of Twitter into just 14 days. Mark's kindly given me the floor to come in and do this guest video. I think because he knows this strategy is an absolute gem and we've both used it ourselves over the last year or so. So right now I'll take you through the exact steps that you can follow to copy our strategy and get the most out of your Twitter account in just 14 days. You probably, if you're looking at the screen now, thinking this is a pretty familiar site. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that start a Twitter account and they see everyone else's Twitter account, either their friends, family, colleagues, or competitors. If you're starting it for your business, or if you're just trying to use it for your personal profile also. So you might start off your Twitter and you see everyone else has got all these tweets and all these followers and all this action, and their profile looks great, and yours is looking a bit like this, a bit like a ghost town to start off. And generally that's when people click the X button and then come back to it in a month and do a couple of tweets and then go away again and come back in another month, and they never sort of get traction, just because they think it's just too hard to get any sort of respect, a bit of social proof, getting anyone to listen to what you're tweeting about, because it's going to take you so long to build up that following and build up all those tweets and build up that really sort of good looking page. So what we can do is definitely a solution to that problem. We've been doing this for people that I've been helping out and for little side projects and stuff that I've been doing over the last couple of years. It's a really good method. So there's three parts to it, as I said. So the first part is the actual tweets. So before we do anything, before you even want to think about getting any followers or anything like that, it's good to, for me, I like to get the tweets instantly over 1,000. I like to see that, that 4-figure sort of mark in there. And this is at 0 at the moment, you can see, and I think it's really important to get that social proof up, look like you've been on Twitter for a while, look like you know what you're doing, and you're an expert. So we're really gonna try and get those tweets up fast. So this is how you do it. First up you use a little tool called Twitter Feed. So it's just www.twitterfeed.com. You can go on and make yourself an account. I've already made one and signed in. So what Twitter Feed does is it publishes RSS feeds to your Twitter account automatically. So basically, in a nutshell, what the sort of strategy is to get a few RSS feeds that punch out a lot of content and subscribe to them through Twitter Feed. And so you're going to be getting all these tweets going out like just automatically over the next week in your Twitter account, and it's going to be building up your tweet count really, really fast. And the good thing is just going back to here, like what I said, you don't have any followers, so you're not annoying anyone. Basically all you're doing is just getting your tweets up, and even though they're not going to be relevant, well, they're most likely not going to be relevant to your business or what you're tweeting about or your personal profile, it doesn't matter because you don't have any followers. You want to get those tweets up to 1,000, and then by the time you smash out another, say, 20 or 30 or to 50 tweets, which you can still do when you have no followers, but you've got 1,000 tweets, all these other tweets that you've been tweeting about over the last week are going to be lost in the noise, and then you're going to have a great looking page to sort of launch from with all these tweets. So just if you're sort of not quite following, just stick with me, and I'll show you how to do it, and then yeah, I'll come back in a week and I'll show you what I mean. So first up, the feeds that we are going to be subscribing to are feeds from, like I said, high traffic news sites. So the first feed, now these are all in this blog post underneath the video just here, so you can just copy and paste the feeds. So the first one is Forbes. So I'll just copy and paste from here. So yeah, as I said, these feeds are all in this blog post underneath, so you can just copy them from here. Okay, so we've got Forbes, copy and paste the feed in there, continue. Okay, so now you want to go to Twitter, you want to publish the feed to Twitter. And by already being logged in to your Twitter account, I should have said to you before, I've started up this brand new Twitter account, Mr. Magoo, just for a test, just so we can do this like a live demo sort of thing, starting from scratch. So I've just made this new Twitter account called Mr. Magoo. So if you're already logged in to your Twitter account, when you get to this point, you just click this, authenticate Twitter, and see how up here it's already got me logged in there. So you just go authorize, and then it authorizes and links your Twitter to that, and then you just go create service. Okay, so that's all done. So the Forbes one's hooked up. You can go back to the dashboard. You can see it in here, there. So then if you want to, there's 3 more. So you go create new feed and you do the same thing over and over again. So I'm just going to go through and do that really quick now. Okay, so you can see how I've got the 4 feeds in here. I've got 2 Forbes feeds, a Mashable and a New York Times. So now anytime they post an article, that's going to automatically tweet it to the account. So there's going to be plenty of tweets firing out over the next week. Now the goals, like I said, to get to 1,000. If you're going to do it, you may as well get it to that 1,000. These 4 should get it within a week, easy, in no time. So yeah, as I said, the 4 RSS feeds are in the blog post underneath. Just grab them and paste them in. Just copy what I did, and if I can make a bet that if we go over to here, you can see that it's already started tweeting some tweets out. So this number of tweets is going to start going up really quickly. So first of all, I want you to do that now. And another thing I'll just mention, don't do this if you already have a Twitter account with followers, because you're gonna piss a lot of people off. This is only good if you're starting a fresh account. I mean, if you've got 5 or 10 followers or something, you may be able to start doing it, but there's a fair chance they're going to unfollow you, which is okay if you don't mind that happening. But yeah, I'd highly recommend having 0 followers when you're doing this. Otherwise, you're going to annoy people. But it's really great if you're just starting out. So do that. Sign it up to Twitter feed and get those tweets coming out. We're going to monitor. I'm going to monitor Mr. Magoo over the next week or so. And once we get up to 1,000, I am going to jump back on, and then we're going to take on the next steps. Okay, we're back. It's a week later, and as you can see, Mr. Magoo here has rocketed up to 1,261 tweets. He's amassed 3 followers along the way. Sometimes people search through keywords and what people are tweeting and that sort of stuff, and they may have come across, or could be some automated software or something, but I wouldn't worry too much about those. You'll probably find that you might get a few odd followers here and there anyway. So you can see, as I said, it's up to 1,261, so that's looking already a lot more healthy than 0. So now that we've got over that magical 1,000 mark, all that's left to do in terms of the tweets is just go back to your Twitter feed account where you subscribed to all the blogs, and you just need to go edit feed and then delete feed on all of them. So I'll just go through really quickly and do that now. Okay, so once we've unsubscribed from all of those feeds, we want to go back to the Twitter page and move on to the next steps. So now we want to do three things. We want to get rid of these weird looking tweets, push them down to the bottom and get some tweets that are actually relevant to what we're doing. We also want to get the page looking really good, and then we want to get some followers, and that's basically how you're going to cram your 1 year of Twitter into a couple of weeks. If we can make it look like you've been around for a year by tweeting, you've got a lot of followers, your page is looking great, you're looking $1 million and you look like an expert, then it's going to look like you've been on Twitter for a long time. So first up, let's get rid of these irrelevant tweets. What we want to do is get some tweets up that are relevant to your business. Not necessarily have to be your own individual tweets, they just have to be relevant to your business, so then you can start tweeting about whatever it is you would like to tweet about, and it's going to all look legit. So to do that, we can use a tool called Feedly. You might already be aware of this, or if you're not, it's really great to subscribe to news feeds and RSS feeds that are relevant to your business. For this example, we'll say that the Mr. Magoo Twitter page is about investing, just to use an example, but whatever your page is about, it can be about anything. There's news feeds that you can subscribe to for anything, and to do that, you just click add content and then type in whatever it may be, or there's some suggestions down here, tech, news, business, etc. So you can just go ahead and add your own feeds. So for this example, we'll say that Mr. Magoo has an investing blog and he's just starting up his Twitter account. So we click onto the Motley Fool website, and then what you can do, you can see all of these different stories down here. So this is all relevant to Mr. Magoo, to his investing blog. So all you have to do is click the little Twitter sign there, and that will bring up a box, and then you can just go tweet. So then you can go through and just do that. You can probably do it up to about 30 times. Don't forget, you've still got no followers at all, so all you're trying to do is just get some relevant information on your page that's going to give you a good kickstart, good base to go from. So we'll go through. I'll do that really quickly now. Okay, so I've gone through and I think I did about 10 or 15, but I'd probably recommend doing about 30 to 50 for you, just to get relevant information. It's going to be relevant to what you're tweeting about. It doesn't have to be all from the same feed, so you can go back here, and I could have gone to some different sort of feeds. You can subscribe to a few, and you can go through, put some tweets up. You can even write a couple of your own tweets about what's going on in your business. Welcome to my business XXX, etc. Those sorts of things. And then once you've done that, you can see that it's all nice and relevant up here. So after that, we want to look at getting the page looking great. So you're going to go through and follow a lot of people to try and get some reciprocal followers, and what you need to do that is have a great looking page, great looking profile picture, timeline, and also a great engaging bio. So right now, what I want to do is I want to switch over from Mr. Magoo to another Twitter account that I've got running, because I didn't want to sit there and sort of invent a fake account and be a bit shady and go start adding people and getting people to follow me for something that doesn't even exist. So what we'll do now is switch over to one we prepared earlier called Road to Brazil. Now this is probably about two months old, I would think, this Twitter account. So you can see I did the strategy. I got us up to around about 1,000 tweets, so I've probably done 160 odd since then. And you can see the page is looking great. We've got all our tweets down here, and starting to really build up a good following and really get some good engagement. So first of all, let's focus on getting your page looking great and what you can do to do that. So I recommend, if you're doing your own personal profile but you're going to be sort of using that for your business as well, I'd recommend your profile picture here being a photo of you. But if not, if it's purely just for your business, you can have your logo in there nice and square and have that all set up. So that's the first thing. Then secondly, for your header picture, it's great to have some really good imagery on there, or something that really sort of says a story about your business or shows people instantly what you're all about. So there's a couple of ways that you can go about getting a good looking header picture like that. If you've got a graphic designer that you use, you can get them to make something up for you. Depends sort of what your budget is. Another program you can use is called Pixelmator. It's Pixelmator. It's an app. It's available for Mac, and you can just download it from the App Store. It's got sort of similar functionality to Photoshop, but it's a lot easier to use, and it only costs $20. So I'd highly recommend using that to make up your imagery and stuff like that for social media. There's actually a blog post about that on the Social Empire website. There's a link to it underneath this video, so if you want to click that, you can read the blog post about how to set up your imagery. And if you're on a Windows computer, you can use a website called PicMonkey, and you can go ahead and make timeline photos and header photos and stuff like that. So the second thing, get your timeline photo looking great. Nice imagery is really good to use, and as I said, you can use those couple of tools to get that looking good. And probably one of the most important things now is to move on to your bio or your description in here. Now, what a lot of people make the mistake of is they talk about their business, which is great, but they don't speak about what people are going to get out of following them on Twitter. And that is the most important thing, because the way that you get followers on Twitter is to follow people. They receive a notification of your follow, and they're obviously curious. They want to check you out, and they want to see what you're all about, why you're following them. So they have a look, and then if they don't see in your bio description what you're going to be giving them on Twitter, if you're going to be giving them any type of value, they're not really likely to follow you back. So you need to explain to them, in 140 characters, how you're going to help them, how they can get value out of following you on Twitter. So for the example for this Road to Brazil page, that is pretty much perfect for what we need, because that's sort of the stuff that what we're sharing on Twitter. So people can see exactly what they're going to get out of following us just by looking at that bio. You can see it's great information that we're sharing, so they are going to obviously follow us back most of the time. And then you also want to make sure that you have obviously a link to the website here, so you can just enter your website in there and it'll link to it. So I recommend going ahead and doing that now. It doesn't matter if it takes you a little while. Just organise to get yourself a great looking header, profile picture, either a picture of you or a logo. Then write a really, really engaging, as much as you can in 140 characters, a really engaging bio about what you're going to be sharing, what value are you going to be giving the person that is going to be following you on Twitter. Once you've got all of those set up, your page is looking great, you'll have a lot of tweets, then we can go ahead and start following people to really start to build that following up. Okay, so to do that, to start to build the following, once you've got your great looking page and all your tweets, it's really, really simple. You just need to find a couple of Twitter accounts that people from your target demographic are interested in. So for us at Road to Brazil, it was quite easy. We just targeted things like the Socceroos. Obviously, people who follow the Socceroos are obviously going to be interested in a World Cup Twitter account or World Cup blog. So if your target demographic was stay-home mums, you may target followers of Oprah, just for a really broad example. You probably wouldn't actually do that, probably because she has too many followers and you couldn't segregate where they were from. But that's just for an example. So for ours, I went to the Socceroos, click on their followers, and you can just go down from here and just go ahead and start following people. Now, it's good to if people don't have a profile picture or something that's a little bit strange, that I don't think is relevant to what we're doing, I don't follow them. So you should do the same. Just don't follow any old person, but go through, and if it's someone that seems like they're interested in what you're about, you can just click through and follow them. So you'll find that you'll get a lot of followers doing it this way, targeted. Now Twitter does keep a close eye on you, so you don't want to go doing the wrong thing. You don't want to go spamming or adding like 2,000 people at a time, things like that. You want to just really try and do the right thing. You probably don't want to follow any more than maybe about 100 people a day. So if you go through for a week and do 100 people a day doing this method, that's about 700. Even if you get half people to follow you back, you've still netted 350 followers in a week, and then you're going to have 350 followers, 1,000 tweets. You're going to be following 700 people. You're going to be having a great looking page, and your Twitter account is going to look like it's been active for a year. So I'm going to go through now, just follow some more people. Okay, so let's pretend that you've gone through for your week. You've started from the start. You've got all your tweets up. You've got your page looking great. You've got your really engaging bio. You've got your profile picture and your nice header. And then you've gone through. You've followed 100 people a day from your target demographic for 1 week. So you should be following around 700, and you should have netted around 250 to 350 followers, and you've got tweets that are relevant to your business, and you're away. It looks like your Twitter account has been around for about a year, and you're going to start getting a lot more traction from your tweets and your engagements with your fan base. Now don't forget, once you've done all this is when the fun starts. Then you've got to start building your engaged community around your brand or around your business, and that's when it gets a little bit trickier. So to help you along the way, we highly recommend that you sign up to the Social Empire free weekly email newsletter. Mark's always putting in some great stuff in there every week. I mean, I know I read them myself, and I'm always learning something new from him. And it's based around tips like things like product creation, how-tos, how to grow your community, how to sell your products better, how to build your email list, basically how to get more for less in the online marketing space. Mark's always on the lookout for new tools and new ways to hack them, as he likes to call it. So chuck in your email on the right and sign up to the Social Empire list, and I'm sure you'll have a ball with Mark. And thanks for having me on this guest post. Cheers.